What were you struggling with before joining Confident Worship Singer?
The fear. I was also dealing with some comparison. I was comparing myself to famous Christian worship leaders, a couple people on my team. I would love hearing them worship, and I would be like, man, I wish I could do that run that they did, or I can't do that, or just the getting over that God gives us all individual sounds
Yes.
and we are all meant to do something in his kingdom or in whatever team that we're serving on. We all have a purpose. And so I think for me, it was just getting over that lie of the enemy that I wasn't good enough or that I wasn't whatever the lie was at the time. But this program helped me in so many ways. There's just so many that I can't even describe it all in one in one session, but definitely the biblical part of the program and you having us pouring into us and allowing us to be vulnerable and coming to you and talking about our fears and what we're dealing with and you being able to turn our eyes always pointing it towards God and why we're doing this was definitely such a beautiful experience. I joke about it all the time. It wasn't just vocal lessons. This was also vocal lessons and therapy and Bible study, and it was like all wrapped in one. So it was such a great sisterhood. You just doing what we love, but also making it glorifying Him as well.
What made you decide to join?
So back in January, when I was dealing with the fear and the comparison and all of that and just feeling like I was already on a worship team
Okay.
and I had already been leading for quite some time prior to me finding you. And I think that I never had anybody say, oh, you need a vocal coach. I never had anybody, I actually had positive feedback, but it was something within me that I felt like I know I can be better for the Lord and I want to be better for the Lord. I want to be more prepared. I want to be more developed. And so I was originally looking at some local vocal coaches where I could go in person, and there were some local ones that were Christians, but I wanted somebody who didn't know me. And then I also obviously wanted them to be Christian. And
Okay.
so just one random day, I decided to I hop on TikTok and I typed in Christian worship coach or vocal coach or just some keywords like that. And then one of your videos popped up. And I went on your page, I started looking at more videos, and just the way that I said before, the way you included scripture and biblical values and views within your program, it wasn't just about our voice. It wasn't just about developing our ear or anything like that. It was, you were also incorporating all these different, like I said, I mentioned it was like Bible study one point and then their therapy session and another point. So it was like all these things that you saw us not just as clients, you saw us as sisters in Christ. And
Yeah.
I loved that about you. And after our conversation, our initial interview conversation, and just hearing your heart and hearing how you ran this program, I just really felt like this is going to be for me. I know some people may find it different of it being through Zoom or something, and oh, are they really going to be able to? How does that work, or is that really helpful, or anything like that? And honestly, whether it be in person or through Zoom, I did not find any type of disconnect. I didn't feel like I learned any less. I didn't feel like you heard my voice any less. You know what I mean? I know some people are like, "Oh, it's better in person and all this," but honestly, I didn't see any difference. And it worked out perfectly because like I said, it wasn't you just teaching me about my voice. It was you teaching me about my identity within Christ and also why we got into this in the first place.
The next question I have for you is what breakthroughs did you experience during your time in the program?
Yes. So definitely a lot of breakthrough. I mentioned before, the fear is gone. I'm not saying because I think the nervousness never goes away. I think even just I've professional worship leaders, singers, they've even expressed before they go up, there's still that little
Okay.
nervousness. I think that never really goes away, but the fear of
Yeah.
and worry of other people judging you because of you singing or the fear of you not being good enough or anything like that, that's definitely broken away from me, I would say. I now see it as even if I do make a mistake, that I'm human, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
And regardless, the Lord sees that as He's joyful in our obedience to serve.
Yeah.
And so, whether I make a mistake or not, He still loves me and He
Yes.
still considers that joyful noise.
Right.
He still sees that as me serving Him. And so, that fear that I had of messing up and not being perfect and all of that's definitely broken from me. I would also say the comparison, that deep comparison is not there anymore. I know that I'm unique in my own way. My voice is unique in my
Yeah.
own way. And you helped me get there. You were able to describe. I remember a session so vividly when I started singing, or maybe I sent in a video. I can't quite remember what it was,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember hearing myself back and I was just like so critical of myself. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't sound good, or oh, I don't like how I sound there, or I
Right.
messed up there, or something like that. And I just remember you pausing the video and saying the complete opposite of what I was saying. I just remember you like, oh my gosh, Grace, your voice is so warm or rich. And you're describing it in such a way that I did not see in myself at all.
Ah.
And that was such a game changer for me because I was like, oh my gosh, I only talk about the bad in my voice and the way that I sing, that I never knew that the way you were describing it, that sounds like, or that's what the Lord may hear from me.
Yes.
That He hears it that way and not the way that I'm thinking. So just that comparison, the fear, the criticism that I had of myself, this definitely helped with that to the
Mm.
point where I was able to worship freely and not worry about what anybody thought anymore. I didn't
Wow.
seek validation of how many people came up to me and told me how good I sounded or how well the worship set went anymore. I didn't care
Yeah.
if anybody came up to me or not to say that. I just knew that I was out there, my voice sounded different than the person standing next to me, and that was okay, and that was a good thing. We don't
Yeah.
want to all sound the same.
Right.
The Lord gave us different tones and different ways of singing for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yes.
So I just felt like this program really helped me see that and helped me learn to love my voice and learn my and excuse me, love myself, learn to love myself in the voice that God gave me. So
What specific growth have you seen in your voice, your confidence, and worship leading, I guess, for you, since you are a
sure.
leader?
So I didn't realize that I needed to work on my ear.
Ah.
And that was one thing that was pointed out when we went through that section in the last cohort,
Mm-hmm.
developing our ear and diving into a little bit of that music theory.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know as much as I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate so much when you did go through that because I was able to realize that there were times that I was leading worship
Mm.
in the wrong key and not in the key for my voice
Right.
or the correct key for my voice. And so now I'm able to know what range where I'm most comfortable and
Mm-hmm.
I can request and be confident enough to request and say if I'm being placed to serve
Yeah.
and sing a song that is not in the key that's in the range for me, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable enough to say, hey, can we change the key to this
Yeah.
instead? And so that's definitely something that I noticed that I'm a lot more aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is where the confidence is boosted as well, because I'm like, I know I can sound the best in this
Right,
range
right.
and not have to strain or not have to, or my voice doesn't crack because I'm trying to
Yeah,
sing it like somebody else in a different key.
right.
So I would say probably that for sure.
You talked about, you just mentioned strain. How was that for you? Did you
Hmm.
go through strain and you said the cracking and the fatigue? Was that
Yeah,
something that was big for you? And was that something too that you saw yourself grow in that area? Because that's a really big one.
absolutely. So before I started back in January, I noticed that my church, they do two services in the mornings, a 9 a.m. service and an 11 a.m. service. And so we would have to rehearse from 6:30 in the morning till about 8 a.m.
Eight. Okay.
and then or 8:30. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there do the two services. And so I would probably be singing the same song 5 times, five, maybe 6 times, depending on how
Okay.
many times we had to rehearse. And by the end of that Sunday, I could see myself and I felt myself fatigued. My throat would hurt. I just remember feeling so exhausted, and I'm like, I don't think this is normal. I should not
Mm-hmm.
be this tired. And now,
Right.
mind you, that's a Sunday. My church also has Wednesday night prayer, which we would also worship in. So there were times that I would serve multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And there were times where I would have to decline serving within that same week because I'd be like, I'm so tired, my voice hurts.
Yeah.
So I remember a few months ago or a
Mm-hmm.
few weeks ago, I actually told you or mentioned that I didn't feel that way anymore. That
Mm.
I felt that I had gone through an entire Sunday
Mm.
set plus rehearsal in a song that required a lot from me,
Yes.
but I didn't feel, I'm so sorry. There goes my dog.
So cute.
In a song that required so much of me, and I did not feel fatigued. My throat didn't
Okay.
hurt. And that's something that I had not experienced before. So
Wow.
just learning how to take care of my voice, learning how
Mm-hmm.
to rest when I needed it, and
Mm-hmm.
then learning how to sing properly because that's not normal. We should
Yeah.
not be
No.
feeling that way
No.
after a set. So
Absolutely
just
not.
right. So learning how to sing properly to where I don't feel that anymore was such another breakthrough, another
Yeah.
great feeling, and just learning
Yeah.
how to take care of my voice.
Last one.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who is considering joining the Confident Worship Singer program?
Ooh, I would say that's a loaded question. I could take this a couple different ways. I'm going to speak to myself, my past self, if I was viewing this. Take the leap of faith. What is there to lose? If the Lord called you to worship, why not give him our best? Why not give him what we know we can, what we're capable of doing?
Yeah.
He did not put us in this position for ourselves. It was for him, it was to serve him. And so, why wouldn't we want to put forth our best? And that was, again, one of the reasons why I originally joined. I was already on a worship team, I was already leading. I was
Mm-hmm.
already for a long time before I joined this program. And it was one day that I just said to myself, I know I could be better. I know that I can give him more than what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us serve and it's volunteer. I know a lot of us, we have our own personal lives, we have full time jobs, we have other ministries that we serve in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like put the preparation or the preparation, we put that in the back burner because we're just volunteering.
Right.
But for those that are volunteering, I just want to encourage you, just like we prepare ourselves in the jobs that we do, we take training to do the jobs that we do, the careers that we're in. There's orientation, there's a training period, and all of that stuff. That's
Yeah.
how we should view our worship. We should be prepared. We should
Right.
train so that we can put forth our best
Yeah.
for the Lord. This is all for Him. And so if I was doing okay at the time before this program, why wouldn't I want to take my training to another level, earn that extra education that I needed for my
Yeah.
voice and for so that I could not only be better for my team, but I could be better for the Lord. And so I just encourage people, just take that leap of faith. What do you have to lose? For the ones that have that fear of are in a group setting, are people going to judge me, or are people going to make fun of me because I'm not at a level that maybe somebody else in the program is in? That's not what this is about. This is about us learning. I can't tell you how many times I another girl in the program asked a question that maybe I was afraid to ask or that I was too embarrassed to ask, and she
Yeah.
was able to ask it and I got that answer.
Right.
It's like you say, we learn from each other's mistakes. This is a safe space to be able to rehearse and sing and learn from each other. So I would just say, just do it. Just invest in yourself, invest in the Lord. What the only thing you can do is get better from this. This isn't going to make you worse. This isn't going to harm you in any way. It's only going to get you to the place that you can be and where the
Yeah.
Lord knows you can be. So I would say that. One
Yeah.
more thing. This is, I know the title is Confident Worship Singer, but this
Mm-hmm.
isn't just for worship singers. It just so happens coincidentally that I was on a worship team prior to. This is
Yeah.
for anybody who wants to just develop their
Yeah.
voice, their ear. They want to, or they're thinking about joining a worship team and they
Yeah.
just, maybe they want to be a little bit more prepared prior to joining. This is for anybody who just loves the Lord, who wants to learn about themselves and their voice and have more education on
Yeah.
your voice and singing. So this is for anybody who just feels like that.